Just banged your wife?
Name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's John, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Kaya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals, and you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
What's up, Impact Wrestling? Let's make some noise!
Sitting here, you guys got a 15-minute intro of putting yourselves over while I'm sitting here and watching J-Bone and Kaylon and you 50. I never saw a 15-minute intro of three guys putting themselves over.
This is the good stuff.
Welcome, everybody, to Total Nonstop Impact, Impact Talk for Impact fans, featured right here on the TNI Network. Throwback show. This is Trent, along my co-host, J-Bone. J-Bone, what's going on?
What is up? We are setting up, and we are not alone. We got some guests here tonight. Why don't you introduce them while I get the tickers going?
Get the tickers going. We got guests, guys. All right, so we got the front row legend himself. We're going to start with you, Bill. We're building up to the new guy. The front row legend is here. None other than Bill Gardner. What's happening, Bill?
Not too much. Good to see you guys again.
As always, thank you very much.
Great throwback. Happy day after Canada Day.
That's right. That's right. Now to Bill's on screen right here, his actual left on screen right. You guys might have seen him on Twitter. He tweets a lot in the Impact community. He does. You might have seen him as Ty's World Order before. Now he's Ty's World Order 2 now, right? Isn't that the new one now?
I think so. I don't even remember. I think that's right.
This is, we're going to call you Mark, or we're going to call you TWO?
Mark. Yeah, Mark.
Mark
for
is
sake
here,
of trying to say the full internet handle.
Like right, every time.
We go. Yeah.
All right. We have Mark with us. Join us all the way from Houston, Texas. What's happening, Mark?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just hanging out, talking to Bill and Jay, waiting for you to get your technical difficulties all figured out.
Thank you. And as always.
Yeah, and here I am for my first, hopefully not my last, but my first episode of the show.
Absolutely. Now he's on. He picked up a shirt, but not only that, not only because he picked up a shirt, Mark and I literally talk every day at this point now. Isn't that crazy? We text every day now. And we met at Hard to Kill. He's from Texas. Met at Hard to Kill. He recognized me and he introduced himself. We hit it off ever since then. We've been buds ever since. So Mark, great to see you in at least face to face again. It's been
Absolutely.
Awesome. And,
nice to meet you, dude. Great
to
have you
on. Guys too. Thanks for having me. Good to see you guys again.
He's a big supporter of the show, guys. Been the chat's all. Who's in the chat? Guys, say hello to Mark. Look at that. We got Butters is from Houston, Texas as well. Paul Nelson, parents. Elijah's in here too. Who else is in here? Millard Harris. Everybody, the gang's all here. Real Heel, Global Wars. Real Heel, I think, is a Russo brand member who's been joining us ever since we jumped on the brand, which made its debut today. So I guess that's what's going to be the routine here, guys. We're going to have a 2-day delay between when we go live and when it's going to hit the brand. So I kind of like that. It's like cool. We get to have our little universe here, and then the brand people get theirs, and then we used to go back and forth. So real nice. So any brand folks who are in here today because they saw us on the brand, welcome to the Throwback Show. This is where Russo is actually on too. These shows.
Ooh, oh, there you go.
There's the real time for you.
La Güera Loca.
That's nice.
That's a sexy couple.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, let's we're going to talk NWA-TNA number 31. This took place on February 2nd, 2003. Am I right? Second is the date on this one? I believe 5th. Sorry, February 5th, 2003. It's right in front of me. And I'm literally,
it's in the thing. It's in the thing, just a few inches below here.
My notes, I wrote down the second. It's really right in front of me. But all right, cool. Let's Jay, you got any news? Anything you want to bring up before we jump into this one here?
Some news.
There's some news today.
Yeah, there's we keep getting these little hints for some surprise people maybe showing up on a certain show on July 18th, a little Slammiversary.
A lot of hints, a lot of teas going on for Slammiversary, man.
There was one for Brian. Was it Brian? I always screw up his name. Brian Myers.
Brian Myers.
Correct.
Brian Myers, former GFW, WWE.
Now he was Heath Slater before, right? That was him.
No,
this was Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah,
Kurt Hawkins.
Dude, I am so detached from that company. I don't even know who's who.
It's okay. It's
former tag champ with Trevor Lee.
That's right. Dude, I remember that. I just never could. I can never keep track of Heath Slater and Kurt Hawkins. I don't know who's who. Are they both redheads or something? Why do I keep mixing those two up? I have no idea.
Yeah, you know what? Okay. I think they were momentarily had a very similar haircut.
All right, maybe that's it.
And now
what's up, everybody?
And now Brian Myers has Heath Slater's haircut from about 10 years ago. So yeah, it's crazy. But Heath Slater's sent out hits. We mentioned that one the other day, I think. Who else? Oh, Matt Cardona. I'm gonna screw up his pronunciation because it's a new name. AKA
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder. Thank you. Oh my God. Don't go old.
I thought you took a break. I thought you were not going to come to the show impaired again. You just told me 3 minutes ago in the presence of company this was not going to happen again today. What is going on Thursdays with you?
It's water.
It's dangerous.
Bullshit, it's water. It's not water. This is water. Okay. This is
Grey Goose and a water bottle.
Oh, there's a lot of teases going on. Honestly, at this point,
this is horrible. It's 3 day old drinking water.
Cut his mic.
So we're 5 minutes in. You're out of here, J-Bone.
You're out of here, J-Bone. Cut his mic.
Cut his mic. Yeah, I know.
I just don't know who's. I love that we're all guessing. Like even the dirt sheets don't even know at this point, which I think is great. There's like even the Gallows Anderson rumors going around. It's like, dude, they don't seem like. They're like, well, it's kind of a done deal. It's like, yeah, you don't really know if it is or not. Nobody fucking has any idea at this point, man.
The best one is pay attention to EC3's social media.
Everybody. He's in everybody, yeah.
Oh, he teased Impact. Moose has responded. He teased Ring of Honor. He teased AEW last night, blew up the internet again. It's ridiculous. It's like, you know what? This guy's a free agent. I don't care where he shows up. I just hope he's happy. And whoever he decides to sign / and or work with, he's happy. You know, because that's what all these guys want.
Hey, listen, forget that. How about Moose? Moose's response to all of it. On the same set. Right? Let's talk about that.
You just shoot him. Yeah. It was like, wait, he's in the same house. What happened here?
I thought that was fantastic.
That was great.
It was. I like how he draws you in with the EC3 first. Like, wait, because you forget that you're looking at Moose's tweet, and then all of a sudden it's Moose.
I love
Good
it, man.
Stuff.
Yeah.
It's a great job. I'm excited for it, guys. I am really. I don't like I said. We don't know anything that's going to happen. So. Keep me guessing. In a time of wrestling, when you don't know, when you know everything, it's great to not know anything. I'm all about it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, speaking of interesting time in wrestling, let's jump into it, boys. February 5th, 2003. Like I ask every week, J-Bone, where were you February 5th, 03? Because I was at my buddy Dave's couch watching this show. So where were you February 5th, 2003?
Well, as long as we're shooting on all sorts of crazy stuff,
Sorry, I asked this question.
I let our friends in on a little story, and I was contemplating whether I should say it or not. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just saying it.
All right.
So at this point, what are we at? We're at February 5th. Okay, so we're about a week out from what holiday?
Valentine's Day?
Yeah. Yeah,
this sounds like it's gonna be bad. Go ahead.
And my ex's birthday was the day before, so I can't tell you how many times I, screwed up as a husband, and unintentionally, of course. And we live in Wisconsin, and a lot of times in February there is snow, so usually either the 14th or the 15th, the front of the lawn was covered in red. And I mean, usually, flower petals, but it looked like something else because they were red. So it looked like, it's like there was like a murder at the house.
Jesus Christ. What is happening, J-Bone? What kind of life did you live like 20 years ago? Actually, don't even answer that. Don't even answer that. I'm going to ask.
I wasn't watching a ton of wrestling at this time. I was a little distracted with, we'll just say, a 4-letter word called life.
All right. Well, let's.
And here comes my current wife. Hello, babe. How you doing?
Yeah, there you go. Let's cut his mic for sure.
Well, Mrs. J-Bone in the house.
She goes, that sounds really bad.
Yeah. Mark, what were you doing in February of 2003? Where were you living? Were you in Detroit at the time? You mentioned you're a Detroit guy, right?
No, I was here in Houston. I was living in an apartment off of our main drag. If anybody whoever was in Houston off of Westheimer.
Okay.
And when Raven left that other company, at the time we were all using satellites, and you could buy cloned cards that allowed you to watch free pay-per-view. So I invested in my first clone card, and my first episode of TNA was actually episode 30 last week. So this is actually nostalgia for me. Before, it's been all new stuff. This is actually going to be a rewind for me. So it was cool to watch it again.
That's cool, man.
And I haven't seen it since 17 years ago. So
17 years. Bill, throw yours in there. What are you doing in 2003? Are you watching this, or are you doing something else?
I think I was not watching it live. I know that one probably for sure. I probably caught it within the next couple weeks is probably what happened back then. I, as opposed to J-Bone with wife, I'll say I was probably preoccupied with someone at the time that probably was taking me away on such an evening as that. So I probably did not watch it live, is my guess.
All right, fair enough. Good stuff. I was like asking that question. If you guys in the chat want to answer that question, I love hearing life stories because it's like everyone, like you just wonder, like, what the fuck were people doing back then, man? Mine's easy. I was at, like I said, my buddy Dave's couch, eating takeout Chinese, watching NWA-TNA because that was my. I had a locked Wednesday. My Wednesday was locked in, boys. That was it. Wednesdays were locked in.
Was it the same dish every Wednesday? Chinese?
No. We would order something else different. Usually, it was this Chinese place near his house was so fucking good, and I can never remember the name of it. I'm like, I would go there now because it was so good. But we'd get something different all the time, though.
Because if you always went there, usually a Chinese place will be like, you just call up, they know your voice. They're like, Trent.
No, they knew him though. He was local to him. They had the order down, man. It was great.
All right, they always have it down.
They do, man. But this was a special show, guys. This period of NWA-TNA, you're in Sports Entertainment Extreme, running wild. The crowd has changed. Now, Jay, you and I have been watching since show 1 here. You've seen it. We went from the local rednecks in Nashville, the grandmas in the front row, to like you got 20-something-year-olds, you got these bloodthirsty fans in the crowd, and they're chanting all sorts of wacky shit. You got a group. Yeah, there's an extreme chant later on, which is like, what the fuck? But like, the mood has changed. Like the climate has changed at this point in the Impact Zone, or the Asylum, I should say, at this time. And
the ladies in the front row, like right behind ringside, that you see on the camera side or whatever. They are insane. Whenever the camera gets anywhere close to them and they got a heel, like, walking past or whatever, those chicks are leaning over the railing. And
it was a different time.
God.
It was.
Consider this, guys. At the time, tickets to the show were, I think, $15 GA, or no, 15 or 20 at this point. $20 front row, $15 GA, and then 10 for like nosebleeds. It was a cheap ticket. Wow. If you lived in Nashville, this is an easy thing to do. It's something to do on a Wednesday. That's why you had those young people start coming, because it was getting a lot of buzz. I remember going to indies around this time, and like and TNA was like the new thing. It was like the new girl in school. Like everybody wanted to like get to know it, and these guys were making indie shots. Like they had the little ticker at the bottom during like the cage dancers showing you the indie dates and stuff. So the buzz was there. This was the thing to go to at the time. So it was very
note on the
interesting.
cage dancers. As I was rewatching this episode,
Yeah.
the wife walked through the room and said, "Oh, it's the wrestling with the girls in the cages," which she had seen a long time ago. So the TNA brand lives on.
That's true, man. The cage dancers are classic. I texted Mark that I go one more night, bring him back. He's like, no, not today.
No, let's just leave that one back there.
Maybe if at No Place Like Home, maybe they would have had just maybe a little skit, maybe just something for one cage dancer, and then like they get pushed off the screen.
Yeah,
so like I was telling Trent, if we put Swinger and someone else in the cages, I'm in.
My idea,
You
though,
need swinglets.
Swinglet, yeah, that's Swinglet. My idea for the No Place Like Home show was like you have a match going on, and then like you have something happen where it's like some little schmoz going on in the ring, and then Russo walks out, takes the mic, kind of looks at it, gets the reaction, boos and cheers, whatever it is, and he kind of looks and just gets the mic and goes, "Needs a pull," and just walks out.
There you go.
Needs a pull. And like it would just I was like immediate pop, because like you want to like restore anything, immediate pop, because like play into the ongoing joke, like needs a pull. That's it. Just like you said, Bill, cage dancers on one skit, just have them yanked out or something, like just little callbacks would have been hilarious to those kind of things.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into this one, boys. We open up the show. Larry Zbyszko's out there. He's got the NWA title with him. Larry Z got the belt with him that AJ stole. Talks about the back and forth with AJ, the match they had, this and that. And he says Jeff Jarrett needs to grant AJ Styles the title shot. So now we're putting AJ in this title picture. That's it. Like he's officially getting moved in here at this point. Jarrett interrupts, says his possession of 9/10 of the law bullshit is crap. And he's like, if AJ wants a shot, he can ask me. But he wants his belt back. He's going to get it the easy way, the hard way. And he tells Larry Zbyszko, the hard way. And he says, I'm going to take it out of your ass. To which Larry replies, out of my ass?
Eat your ass.
Right off the bat, just that first conversation, I'm like, oh, you could just tell what kind of show this is going to be. This is already insane. Larry Zbyszko, out of my ass?
We didn't get Zbyszko for long enough. I wish he'd been around longer.
There's never too much Larry Zbyszko.
No, a 60-year-old Larry Zbyszko is going out of my ass. So anyway, he's gets in his face. He's about to get in there. AJ attacks Jarrett. Jarrett gets the belt at this point, but a big group of guys in fatigues attacks him and kidnap him, take him outside. So hooded dudes, sports entertainment extreme, as we find out, take him outside. Is it just me, or did you guys have vibes to the Samoa Joe kidnapping at this point? Like the whole Samoa Joe getting kidnapped thing later on. And I was like, I don't know why I thought about it, but I'm like, they did do something like that later on where Joe got kidnapped. But this was interesting. Now, Mark, let me start with you. Right off the bat, the crowd is insanely hot here. Like, look at that pure crowd response.
Nuts for everything. Everybody that comes out. Everyone that comes out. Everyone that picks up a mic. Everything.
No silly chanting. It's like it's just pure reaction to what they're seeing. Yeah, and I'm like,
insane.
Right. To just Bill, like to a bunch of dudes, hooded dudes, which we know are sports entertainment extreme. Kind of a silly thing. They're kidnapping Jarrett, but like they're eating up every minute of this.
Yeah. And they love the craziness. Like this is really where it feels like it becomes that asylum era of the crowd. Like it really, like they were kind of getting their feet wet. Like they were booing guys, but then like not boo. Like I told you, it was like in the last show, like Jarrett wasn't getting pop on some of these things,
right?
But now all of a sudden, now they're Jarrett guys. Like it feels like it is like there's a new group that's kind of going in there, and I think you're right. And like we were talking about like the NSYNC thing from last week, that reference. I think there was just a bunch of like 18 to 25-year-olds that all had like NSYNC haircuts. I guess that was the big thing in Tennessee at the time.
As good as watching the show.
Jay,
they all look like they just walked out the shower.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. Jay, but we talk about this a lot, Jay. Like just that just a pure response. The crowd, we've seen it change from show 1 to 31 now. We've seen the evolution, and they're just like, they're hot from minute 1. They're hot. That's what I love about it.
Oh yeah, just nuts. And it was just the whole thing was so random and sudden. And there was something really weird. I know I'm changing the subject here just mildly.
Mm-hmm.
But the first,
that's so weird for this show.
Yeah, because we never go off the rails. No, but this is no. I mean, we're going from segment to segment here. But that first, there's something done out of order here. Now, I know I've never done acid or anything, but wasn't Estrada's hair last week severely shorter? Not as short as mine, of course, but it was like this long, and now
it may have just been product. Maybe, I don't know though. It did look completely different last week. It was like all the way down. It was that haircut I was talking about. Like it looked like
true.
He had it all tight.
Yeah, I don't know if like something was like shown out of like were these last 2 episodes like switched on the Impact Plus or something?
No, these are, I mean, I think, remember they're taping week to week. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, that might have been, he probably changed it up. I don't know, because he did have it throwed out, right? This week?
Yeah, he had the disco Trent going on.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. which is what he has. I mean, maybe it was watered down last time. But yeah, well, that leads us to our next segment here, was Disco taking on Jorge Estrada.
So he looked like this.
Disco fever, disco fever, disco fever. Yeah.
What side is Trent on? Shit. He's got the disco hair, but the fatigues. Is he sex? I don't know.
Get out of here, AC Romero.
That's a great question, Mark.
So pretty soon, AC's going to lose too much weight to even be able to fill out the suicide costume. I'm a little bit worried they're going to have to find somebody else.
So this was interesting. So I found something interesting on this next match here, like Disco and Jorge Estrada. Sanders on commentary, and he mentions that Disco broke him in, which I didn't know. I had no idea. Now they are both Atlanta guys. They're both Georgia guys, so that makes sense. And I know they're good friends. They early on, I remember on Russo's Pyro and Ballyhoo network, the two of them had a talk show together, short-lived, and now I'm kind of seeing like the friendship's been there for a while. So, but it's interesting here. Jorge gets the win with a backslide, and there's a post-match beatdown by Glen Gilberti and Mike Sanders. They strip him of the suit, and this is where it got interesting, Mark. There was an entire arena chanting "You are gay" at Sanders and Disco stripping him out. Did you catch this?
2003 TNA. So when everybody left WCW, they had to go somewhere, and we all went to TNA, and the chants came with us. Right?
Holy crap! A "You are gay" chant. Which, okay, I get it. Like at the time, like using "gay" was like people used it very, very loosely at the time. Now, obviously, it's much more locked down. But I don't remember ever hearing an entire arena chanting "You are gay."
As someone who hasn't been watching from the beginning and watched this one, bell to bell because I was going to be here with you guys, it was a little bit jarring in terms of like the culture between then and now, for sure.
It's true.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. And it took me a second. I was like, wait a minute. They didn't censor this one? Because they do censor stuff. Like the first couple episodes
random.
were pretty liberal.
Random
and then a handful of episodes in, then they started, bleeping stuff out. I'm shocked. Maybe because it was a little inaudible. Like it took me a second to figure out.
Yeah.
I think crowd stuff, unless it's blatant, like I remember they bleeped out like F-bombs from the crowd and stuff like that. But I don't know. This one was like light enough, I guess. I don't know. It was like, wow.
We get a loud different one later that we can
do we?
hear.
I don't know if I have noted.
Different chant. Different
okay.
Chant.
All right. I'll let you point that out. I don't know if I have another one noted here, but anyway, we'll keep going.
It rhymed with TNA. Probably why it didn't get censored. They're like, they're chanting TNA. They love TNA.
Oh, I guess I heard some. Okay, I'll let you guys mention that one. But Jorge Estrada, I just want to talk to you guys about this for a second. They're trying with him. They are trying, and I think he's trying too. He meant well. There's something about him that even like I'm watching a guy working hard, and I know he wants to do it, but there's something just disconnects me from this guy so much that I just can't like. I don't buy him into him, Mark. What do you? I'm not like buying him at all. Like even if you put him in a great story, I'm not into it.
I think the problem is there's so much else going on, and the booking is so heavy around the main event and the mid card that it's a lot of these other people are getting lost unless they're related to the main storylines. I think possibly, you know,
he never caught fire from the beginning though.
He was in a crowded division too.
Yes, yeah, that was part of it too. Because Bill, he doesn't really fit the like an X division-y kind of guy, nor is he kind of a middleweight type of guy. He's kind of in that lost like category almost, you know.
He is like his style. Like obviously they kind of forced him into the X division as his fit, but like I know kind of in the earlier episodes it was like the whole thing about Sonny Sakai and like what about his gimmick and where's he fit. And now you're just looking like light years now, and like we never thought like Sonny really got to where it is, but he's so far ahead of Jorge. It's not even close. It's just, and they're going back and forth. Like he had he was the Elvis gimmick. Then he was his kind of own gimmick last week. Now he's back to Elvis.
Yeah.
They just kept moving him around. He never could really get set anywhere. And they never really gave him a chance to talk much. So he never was really going to get himself over.
I think that's part of it too. Booking's probably thinking how I'm thinking. They didn't know what to do with it. Where do you put the guy? You know, he's kind of a lost type character. So I don't know.
He's perfect with the Elvises. He couldn't break out that.
That's what it was. Jay and I've talked about this a bunch. Like it's like since the show one, we just haven't been able to catch on with him. But all right. Next segment though, guys, is my favorite ongoing segment of the night. It is the frustration level of Bullet Bob Armstrong as the night goes on. This is what starts it off. This is one of my favorite things. So like it starts off, Goldie's like, "What's going on with Jeff Jarrett? He's like, God damn it, Goldie. I'm trying to figure this out. I can't keep track. I gotta go.
Goldie.
I gotta get to work." Oh yeah.
He goes, I got a wife that bugs me more than you. Or
that's later on. That's
a great later part of it.
Is that later? Okay. I know you said that at some point.
Oh no, we're building to it, right, Mark? Like we're building. He just builds that anger.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that because oh my goodness,
it's great.
How she lasted this long?
He gets beat up a lot.
Like I hope I don't want to sit here. I'm not gonna badger her. You know, I've messaged her a couple times, be like, hey, we'd love to have you on sometime. But I'm even more sincere now. Like, hey, we got to have you on because I want to talk to you about what was going on back then. Because man,
we're so bad.
We legit feel bad for her during these shows because just the looks on her face. She's like,
oh my god,
getting bounced
she's
around.
Part of some of the most memorable spots. The later on in this show, I think that's the line of the night. Desire gives her.
Oh my god. No, I gotta say,
an industry person, Goldie, before.
Not at all. Not well. No, okay. I'll back up. Danny Daniels from AEW told me that she did some stuff at IWA Mid-South in Indiana prior to this. Like she got her foot in the door at IWA Mid-South, which is a very an indie known for just letting a lot of people have gone through it. Not the greatest run operation, but they've had a lot of talent. She actually got her foot in the door there, and then she parlayed that into TNA. So this wasn't her first, but it was basically like her first. Not really an industry person, though. She's a musician by trade. But recently, she has expressed that she wants to come out, so we definitely got to nail that down. But she recently...
we got a lot of reviews to go. It'll happen someday.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She recently has mentioned how she's like... She had a very emotional post like 2 weeks ago on Twitter, how she's like, I finally have accepted how... Like, I wasn't bad. I was good. I had fun. I really love the work I did. Like, she's looking back on this work super fondly lately. So I'm happy for her. Like she's really been putting over her TNA run and stuff. So it's been pretty cool to watch her.
Yeah, we love her. I mean, considering how women were treated back then, and it happens for a while. Man. It's man, she's just a landmark for someone who was tough as nails.
Yeah, she's a tough chick, man, no doubt. Russo appears in fatigue, so it's the army. It's the war theme, right? It's us against you. It's sports entertainment versus tradition. And he says, welcome to Operation S.E.X. There's sex chants going on. Like people are just chanting sex. And he's like, we got their leader, and now we're going to take out everyone in the army. And then you scumbags who boo us.
Yeah, beginning of the scumbags.
The scumbags. The seeds were planted here, man. He says the weird thing. He goes, I really love Jeff Jarrett. I love him. I'm doing this for his own good. I'm trying to help Jeff Jarrett. So you're planting seeds of like, are they friends or what's going on here? So, and he's like, he tells Disco, he's like, I'm leaving it to you. I want you to develop the character of Jeff Jarrett. Bring it out. And it's up to you. And he goes, I want you to basically turn him into a piece of shit, is what he's trying to tell him. Flush tradition down the drain is the term he throws out there. That's the big one. He says, Glenn, it's your project. Head out there. So Disco starts walking, and Dusty Rhodes comes out. Texas boy comes out, and he takes out Disco, elbows, gets to the ring, and he calls out all the young guns. Now, this is kind of telling. This little scene that happens here, guys. Look at this scene. He calls out what is at this point like the front line of the youth movement of TNA. AMW, Amazing Red, Jerry Lynn, Truth, and he puts them all over. Like, look at that lineup, though, for a second. Like, that is a lot of cool talent. You got your veteran, who's still young at that point, Jerry Lynn. You got your new X Division guy, Red, who's like making waves. Truth, who's become like this rising star, who was like kept down everywhere else, rising here, and AMW, like the tag team of the future. That's a pretty awesome little talent pool to have on the front line, which, I mean, it was cool to see that. He's putting them over big time. But a line I loved, Mark, I don't know if you caught this. I loved it when he pointed at Truth, and he's like, you talk about so much about what you've done. He goes, I want you to know a black man did not win the world title. A man won the world title. And I love it. It like hit me for a second. I was like, man, that was some real shit,
It was it's dust. Always pop. Can I swear on this show? I'll always pop. Dude, Dusty came out and I lost my shit. Always pop for Dusty. And yeah, you're right. He put everyone over. All these guys that we're going to come to know as the pillars of our company. Truth would leave and come back, and people would come and go. But these guys, AMW for how long? Both those guys, not necessarily together, but Storm around forever. Are we going to see him again soon? I'm guessing.
I hope, man.
I don't know.
It was
with NWA on hold. It's looking like we might.
Fingers crossed. I wouldn't mind seeing them.
Yeah,
but no, the ability Dusty Rhodes has to it's an instant endorsement. Like, I looked at Truth's eyes. I'm like, tell me. I'm like, if I'm Truth, it's hitting me right there. If like Dusty Rhodes saying like a man won the world title, it's like, don't even sell yourself short that it's, categorize yourself. Say it's a black man. I'm the first black world champ. Like, no, you're a man and you won that title. Bottom line. And I was like, that's awesome, man.
Good stuff.
It was strong. And he's like, let's take the asylum back. Truth, you lead it. I literally, my notes, I wrote so good. Like, that's how good this segment was. It was awesome. All right, we go to Sonny Siaki with Desires next.
Oh, hang on a second.
What do you got?
Speaking of cowboys like Dusty, a little birdie just sent me something. This shows that.
Eric.
It just shows that you're even though you're new, Bill. Wild Bill, you're over with the fans. So I just wanted to share this.
Dusty wrote, wow. Dusty Bill.
It's Wild Bill there. There you go.
Now, Trent, I gotta say, I have a neck.
You actually have a neck, yeah. For some reason, the ones of me don't have necks. I don't know why that is. Good job.
But I gotta ask you, what did you use on that perm? Because that is one sexy perm.
What? Those curls look natural.
The stuff that they dip in Italian beef, it's the same kind of dip. That's how you get those curls. That's how you really get that. Those really nice.
I got to go to the Trent school of hair care products.
Good hair day today, boys. It is a good hair day. It's flowing today.
I never have a bad hair day, so I'm just that picture is courtesy of watcher and listener Zach Bonifer. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
The Prince of Photoshop. Look at that, man. He's every week with something. This guy.
He's on it, man. He's on it.
I've got a whole line of photos. Some Trent has liked, some Trent hasn't liked. I won't read. Trent, I'll be nice. I won't show the one of the bodybuilding one of you.
Please don't.
It's hot
not
though. It's
I
hot.
just want to know where he's getting all these damn photos. I mean, I don't know. There's a couple pictures he's used for my face. I'm like, where the fuck did you even get that picture? You started to wig me out here, Zach Bonifray. I need to get to the source on this.
Anyway, Zach got it right. I was trying to remember the name from Coming to America. It was Soul Glow. That's what
Soul
it
Glow,
was.
yeah.
Soul Glow, yes.
Great movie. Can't believe they're making a sequel. So blown.
Are
my
they
mind.
really?
Yeah.
Is
So
Arsenio
weird,
coming back? And
they're all in there. Everybody's in there. Like everybody's playing everybody. I'm like,
Yeah, he's even bringing back the characters. Like Eddie Murphy played like 5 characters. He's bringing them all back.
Yeah.
What is
They're gonna
this?
have the
Hell,
barbershop
barbershop.
again. Okay,
So
then
weird.
I'll reserve judgment then.
There you go.
Yeah. Is Sam Jackson going to come back and reprise his role as the robber?
As the robber? I don't know. That's a stretch.
Oh, he has to.
Yeah,
he should. He really should.
Be a nice little
I
Easter
want to
egg.
see how big the McDowell's chain became.
Oh, it's gotta be huge. Well, they probably only sell healthy stuff now, like salads and yogurt.
That's right.
bowls and stuff. McDowell's always on the cutting edge of the latest.
We just need Samuel L. Jackson to walk in with a shotgun, look around, go, damn, and run away.
Like he just got out of jail after 30 years and like he's going
Book
to
it.
do it again.
Yeah, book it, yes.
That's awesome. All right, Sonny Siaki with Desire taking on Red. This was a good match, man.
Man, what a banger.
This was awesome.
What a banger.
I was like, these two got chemistry, man. This is fun.
Yeah.
Good back and forth, good balance back and forth. Desire hooks Red's leg on the rope. Siaki gets the win. But the anticipation is what I liked. I'm like, I truly had no idea who was going to win this. I'm like, oh shit, like Red might have this. Like it was a great back and forth. Jay, I'm gonna start with you on this one. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that was good. You can tell at this point that Red, over the first when did he show up? It was like within the first few weeks, wasn't it?
I think it was 6 he shows up on.
Okay, so he showed up after a month and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, but from then on, I mean, he is absolutely without a doubt a fan favorite. Whenever he shows up, that crowd goes nuclear.
It only grows though. Let me put it that way. Like if you watch these, the Red phenomenon just grows from here.
Has the Don West thing already happened?
Kind of. He got on the desk and was doing the let's go Red.
Yes. Okay.
That
did
happened like 4 episodes ago. But then later on, he still gets Don West becomes the biggest cheerleader, as we know.
Absolutely.
Like that goes nuts. This one, so it was interesting. So Red is facing off with Desire after the loss. She shoves him. He shoves her back. Siaki flips out, jumps on him, but then this is where Trinity and Kid Kash run in for the save. And then that little feud, that intergender feud is happening. I love Trinity and Kid Kash. These two are so underrated in the lexicon of TNA Impact Wrestling. The Trinity for sure, I feel is forgotten. Like Mark, you gotta say, I know you love the women's wrestling. Trinity is forgotten, and she should not be this forgotten. She was damn good.
To be honest with you, I don't remember a lot about Trinity, so I just made your point right there. Yeah, I don't remember a ton about her. I do want to bring up one thing in this match, though. I thought the moment of the night was in this match. There was a point where Red uses a 619 to get back into the ring and reverses it into a top rope plancha onto Siaki on the floor, and it was absolute perfection. And there, Red's a star. Every time he gets in the ring, you already knew this guy was going to be huge. I mean, he looks like a little kid, but this is the first time I've seen him wrestle in a while because I hadn't been watching these really. And I forgot how beautiful in the ring he can be.
Dude, I'm telling you,
he's so good.
2003, Bill, who was doing this in 03 besides Red? Honestly,
no, he was bringing a style that is obviously much more common today, but back then you weren't seeing that. Maybe you were seeing it in some smaller shows in Mexico, so Lucha Libre, but you really weren't even seeing it in AAA to that extent, which kind of will lead into that upcoming sit-down segment.
Yes. And now I got to say, though, I got to say, he is considered such a pioneer for the guys now because I was at a show backstage in Chicago called Warrior Wrestling, and they actually got Red. This is I want to say this is December or
December? Yeah, with the Rascals, right? December.
Rascals, right.
Yeah.
It was Will Ospreay, Red, and I forgot their third, taking on the Rascals. And I mean, Red is considered to all those guys he was, I think it was Cena? Maybe I'm wrong on that.
No.
It was one of the guys from
Phantasm.
Was it Phantasm? No, somebody else. It'll come to me. But the respect for Red at like backstage, it was like they couldn't believe they're going to be in the ring with Red. Like that was the big thing. It's like it's like holy shit. Like we're like Trey was like flipping out. Like he couldn't fucking believe he was going to be in the ring with Red. Like
it's Amazing Red.
It's Amazing Red. But it's like, but he's the guy who ushered in the stuff they're all doing now.
All of this.
That's it. He's the guy. He gave the small guys that flavor, and it's like, and dude, he still has it. That's the thing of
and you know, he worked with guys like Siaki, who was built to put over Red. That match of power, like Siaki carrying him around, leaving him in perfect spots, catching so great on the floor, great base. I mean, the two of these guys together, like I didn't remember this match. I'm going to watch this match again later. I'll remember it this time. This match was an absolute banger.
Great stuff, though.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, it was, moments where you're like, oh, man, poor Amazing Red. He's just getting killed. And it also shows, and I talk about this once in a while, how good the commentary is. Because they point out stuff like that. They point out the dramatic moments, and they put that extra oomph on how you're supposed to feel, and you're just drawn in, especially with someone like TNA. TNA was out of his mind.
He's so
crazy
good
in this show, and it just escalated. By the end of the show, I'm surprised he didn't do another damn walk-off. He just completely lost it.
Oh, he's been on fire these last couple of weeks.
I gotta say, guys, I mean, this guy, I'm not taking a shot at current and I'm not trying to get into all that, but when you hear TNA and Wes make this sound, like every match sounds like the most important thing in the world in that moment. Yeah. I'm like, every segment, like even the sports entertainment extreme stuff, it's like I am feeling the frustration through TNA's voice at all times. And I'm like, that's a fucking lost art, man.
Yeah.
I don't get that from Josh Matthews today.
Well, and West feels like a fan. Like when I hear Don West make calls, that's how I feel. I'm popping like a mark just like him.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I swear to God, Mike Tenay he deserves way more credit than he's getting, if that's the case. Because I'm completely into the way he makes me feel in all these moments. I'm like, man, this guy we've watched shitty matches, like basic filler matches, and Tenay's made him feel like the most important thing on the card. And I'm like, that's an art. That's a fucking art.
Yeah, especially the first handful of weeks where you're just getting introduced to people. I mean, we still made the point that they made storylines out of the most insignificant thing or match or setup or whatever. And those two guys put it over like Rover. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. It's awesome. All right, let's talk this sit down though, guys. This Conan sit down Mike today. I want one of our guests here to take this one. Mark, I'm gonna let you talk about this one.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, you take it.
I don't. I've never covered a segment before trying to put me on the spot. I didn't take any notes on Conan sit down. I know him and Conan seem like they have some real heat though, right? It was you, Conan. It was you, Conan. It was you, Conan. And by the end, Tenay was pissed off, like for real. Or Tenay's just great in the chair, which he is.
So good, man.
Yeah, he is. So good. It's fun. It's funny. Like, I don't know. I've heard this from Conan before, and I'll hear it from Conan again. It's kind of like a thread that Conan's been weaving for his entire career, and he's 100% right. I don't remember what comes next. Is this when he gets together with Truth shortly?
I think so. I think three Live Crew is not far off from this.
And BG James. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So Conan comes in.
Is it about a year?
Okay.
I forgot what he's doing between now and 3 Live Crew. I don't remember.
Yeah. That's why I couldn't remember if he actually brought in a Lucha Revolution into TNA or if he went right into 3 Live Crew, because it's been a while.
There's something between there. There's something that happened. Okay. I can't recall what it is. We're gonna find out. But
yeah.
But you bring up a good point, Mark. This is something he has been weaving. He talks a lot about almost this oppression of minorities in wrestling, and these are good points. Like he does mention, there's no people of color in power in these promotions. Like, and he talks about it today. He even says, why is there not a Latino writer writing for the Luchadors? Why is there not a black writer writing for the African American roster, just so he can understand the psychology even better. He's always pitched for that. To this day, he's always pitched for something like that, and I think it's not a bad point. So there's a little bit of a shootiness to this segment too. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's exactly it. I always feel that way with Conan when he's talking about this, because you can tell that he lives it. Well, we know he lives it, right? We know his history and what he does for the business in real life. That's why I've always loved Conan. You can put him in a different promotion, or you can put him in Impact. I love him anywhere, obviously most in Impact, but he's very steady, and he always carries his culture and who he is and his character. His character's been established now at this point for 20 years. You know, he's that guy.
Shit. He's 30.
Yeah, more
years at this point. Yeah, it's nuts.
Is he 30 years in the business by 2003?
He debuted. Oh, by 2003. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, now. But back then, 20 years in the business. Yeah. He's another great guy to have on board. You know,
although he definitely made sure to tell you everything he accomplished in the business. And he put himself over. Vince Russo would call him out.
Oh, if you're not going to do it, who's going to do it, right?
I love you guys.
Who did it? You did. You did, Conan. You did. I was there. I was in Mexico.
Yeah, he made TNA point it out for sure.
He put TNA over too, though.
He did. He did actually put TNA over. You're right. Do you guys listen to Keep It at 100, his podcast? Because it literally is. It's Conan. I always do my Conan impression on his podcast. He's always eating and smoking on his podcast. So you hear like Disco, and they're like a Joe Feeney, and the other guests, and you hear Conan like this. He's like,
"Oh, thanks, Lakers."
What do you guys think of what do you guys think of Raw? It's like he's doing bong rips on the show, and it's like, what the fuck?
He's keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
He is.
But it was an interesting promo. You're right. He puts TNA over as like one guy who understood. He's like, that's why I pitched for you to be in WCW, because you understood it. Which is a shoot. Mike Tenay called the When Worlds Collide pay-per-view in 1994, which WCW helped co-promote for AAA, CMLL, I forgot which one it was, which is one of the most revolutionary pay-per-views of all time. Tenay was the commentator. He was the English commentator who knew everything about Mexican wrestling. And WCW heard it, Conan endorsed it, and that's how Tenay ended up in WCW. And it was fantastic. The guy, Tenay is always known as shit. The guy is a clear-cut student of the game. So I'm curious where this goes. Basically, he tells Tenay, the line of the interview is, "I'd rather instill fear than invoke thought." Yeah, interesting.
It's a good line.
Very good line. So, all right, segment 2 of Bullet Bob and Goldie. Like, this is where he starts. This is where he gets. This is level 2 now. So she's at level 2. So she's asking him, what's going on, Jeff Jarrett? What's happening, Bob? And he's like, I'm getting pissed off. You always bothered me, Goldie. You got to quit. You got to lay off a little bit. BG James comes in. Dad, I'm worried about you. You're stressing out too much. The mic cuts out a little bit here. I don't really know what he was saying. Did it cut out? There was a little technical issue on this.
Yeah, the fans were even getting on them.
Yeah, you hear the fans reacting to it. So the mic cut out a little bit, but basically it ends with Bullet telling him, "I got a little surprise for you in the ring. So why don't you head out and get this?" They go right into the segment. And this is where we get the debut. So it's BG James taking on Tenacious Z, who's later known as Zach Gowen, the one-legged sensation for wrestling. Now, how familiar are you guys? Let's start with Mark. You remember Zach Gowen?
He came out. I jumped up and I popped and I said, "Holy shit, it's that one-legged guy." And my kids were both in the ring and they were like, "Oh my God, he has one leg." And I was like, "Man, I haven't seen this guy in forever." I forgot what a wonderful experience it is to watch that.
Isn't that crazy?
So cool. Yeah. So cool.
He can go, man. He was
he weighed $120, but man, he could go.
He was 19 years old at this point too. Can you figure that? Like, that's crazy.
Crazy. Well, so was Amazing Red at this point, right? Maybe 20.
Red was 20. Yeah, he was just 20 years old at this point.
Yeah, 19, 20, just barely. Yeah.
What a youth movement.
What a crazy. This is bananas, man. So like, Gowen goes here. He gets like all this buzz comes out, like the one-legged wrestler, like who's doing moonsaults and shit, which is mind-boggling. I think he went to WWE like a year later. Has this insane like run where I think teaming with Hogan, all sorts of shit. Then he was gone. He ended up on the Indies. he was in Chicago a lot. He worked for AEW before when I was just a fan going to shows. He was a fixture here. He was trained by Truth Martini, I want to say. So he was part of that Michigan crew that would always drive into Chicago all the time. So
is Truth Martini still around?
Correct.
He's running his school. He's just doing a new class in his school now. His school's still going. We're trying to get him back. I'm like, anybody needs to be back in pro wrestling right now. It's Truth Martini, one of the best managers. Love that guy. But this is interesting. The brother. Okay, little tidbit. Bill, if you caught this, the referee Scott Armstrong, brothers. The little tension between brothers has been brewing.
Oh, there's definitely some tension brewing in this episode. They're not good brothers.
They're not good brothers. They're definitely I wrote down beef and bros on my notes here. But at one point, BG tries to clothesline him. God ducks. Tenacious Z, Gowan rolls him up, gets the win. But then Raven immediately, your boy Mark, Raven jumps in, starts attacking the poor one-legged kid. Sympathy. Oh my God, that
Raven. He doesn't give a shit. What about him?
What about me? What about Raven? There you go. Jay, you a Raven guy? I don't know if I ever asked you. You're a Raven guy? Because the rise of Raven is insane, what we're getting here.
Everybody's a Raven guy.
I love Raven. I was always a fan of the Flock.
Same.
The huge mystery, like what he was going to do next. You never knew what he was going to say, but whatever he was going to say, you were going to remember it. And you was just going to stick like glue in your head and just blow your mind at the same time.
As they said on commentary, what a vocabulary he's got.
Oh, yeah.
And a t-shirt collection. I mean, he's the reason I started watching TNA. He's a fucking draw, man. Raven is a draw. My favorite Goldberg match of all time is when Raven had to carry him on his back and put him over for the U.S. title.
I remember that. That's a classic, man.
My favorite matches of all time because of Raven.
If you watch that match, you could completely see Raven calling the entire match.
Every move. He's calling moves on the outside from the fly. A beautiful match. If you've never seen that match, go back and watch that match.
That's the genius of Raven is in that match, honestly. You could tell Goldberg is like lost immediately. Like doesn't know what the fuck to do next, and Raven literally has like guides the entire match.
Well, and Raven put a belt on him, put him over, and made him legitimate.
Huge. It was huge. Yep. There's a line in this. I think I wrote down. You are a mere Gardner in the Walk of Life. Did I have that right? Is that the line? Or you are a mere Gardner in the Walk of Life. He comes to AJ. He's talking about AJ.
Yeah.
He wants the NWA title. So this is what I love about this period, too, guys. You have all these people vying for the title. And it's like the NWA belt feels like the most important fucking thing in the world. What was that comment there? What did that say just now? What do we got there, Jay? Put that back up. He's a huge, absolutely.
Sorry for bringing up all the WCW stuff.
No. Hey, I
love WCW.
Love WCW, man. It was great. I mean, like Raven, the Ravenisms are awesome. Like all the crazy metaphors. I don't know like what the fuck he's saying half the time, but I'm just like, yeah, like they're awesome. AJ comes out with the belt now. AJ's got the belt on him, and they brawl. Larry comes out. Raven steals the belt at the end of it. They brawl back and forth. They do the finger break, the classic Raven like split the finger break thing, which I still to this day don't know how to pull off. And there's a thing we couldn't hear it on TV. But Raven does it live, and a couple other wrestlers. One guy in particular is Merrick Brave, who is Seth Rollins' best friend. They do have the training school together, Merrick Brave, and he wrestled in Chicago a lot too. But he does a great, finger break. But they make a sound effect like it literally sounds like the bone is.
Oh
breaking.
yeah,
and you've probably seen that at indie shows, but like some guys know how to pull that move off.
Yeah, there's a guy that does it very well, but he's one of the do not name guys anymore.
Okay,
but. He did a pretty good one, but I think he was using tape. The other performer was using tape to rip. So like you would crack the tape.
No kidding. That some guys
at least for him.
That's interesting.
That's less painful than blading.
Yeah, some guys pull it off so well that it's like, man, I think he just broke his fingers.
Oh yeah, because it's like echoing throughout a small arena. Like it's like whoa.
I don't know how they do it. All right, so. Yeah, it's something like that. All right, level 3 bullet Bob. This is the great line. This includes the great line. Mark, you're the guest. Do you remember the line that he said?
I'm sorry. I was reading the comments, Trent. Sorry.
No problem. No problem.
It's a great line.
Bill's ready to say it. So Bill, I'm going to give it to you. I'm gonna Stockton Malone this line to you. Go for it. This is great. What he said.
My bullet Bob. Damn woman, I got a wife at home. Stop bothering me.
Well, he says, no, I'll take a step further. He says, I got a wife at home that doesn't bitch at me this much.
Yes, you're right.
That's what he said. I screwed it up.
That's exact. Verbatim.
I just love the frustration of both. God damn,
he's so frustrated. He's
like,
frustrated.
I was surprised at how much I enjoed Bullet Bob in this episode.
So he's so funny, man.
I didn't, was he always so all over it before? Again, I have not really been watching until now. He had such a strong presence.
Yes, he's an authority figure from episode 1.
Right,
Jay? He hasn't gone away yet. So
he had a lot of screen time. He was really active and involved.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. He was good. I mean, this was a little bit more just because of the nature of this episode. Some episodes he makes maybe 2 appearances, but he is definitely the authority figure. So
yeah, it is. Everything's escalating with the roster and additions and chaos. The big thing is the chaos, and Bullet Bob is just becoming more white-haired by the day. And
I tell you though, guys, he was a. I mean, if you're not, I'm into classic wrestling too. He was a damn good wrestler too. Bullet Bob's a classic wrestler in the Georgia Southeast Territory, man. This was good though. He's getting frustrated. AMW walk up. They start yelling at Bullet. Everybody's yelling at Bullet Bob. Like everybody wants a piece of this guy, and they want a title shot. And the new church is there talking. They're all in there too because they got a title shot coming up. Jim Mitchell is. I mean, crazy to think here. Jim Mitchell is there in 2003. We see him now. It's
my 12-year-old daughter was like, "Hey, it's the guy from Impact."
Yes, exactly. Isn't that crazy to think? Like your 12-year-old daughter wasn't even born at this time when this show happened, and Jim Mitchell is still there, looking pretty. I mean, with the exception of the hair, he looks pretty much the same.
Yeah,
that's what he goes. He looks exactly the same.
It's great. That's awesome. I love hearing that your daughter recognizes. That's amazing. But the line he used was great, because they're demanding a title shot. New Church has it, and he goes, "Don't get your balls twisted." And I just loved him saying, "Don't get your balls twisted." But he says, when we win the title shot, when we win the titles, we'll give you a shot, and we'll bathe in your blood. And then Bullet separates everybody. So,
Trent, if you're gonna say the line, if you're gonna quote him, you gotta say it like him.
I said, "Don't get your balls twisted." I said it.
When we win,
the
we'll bathe in your blood. You gotta say the whole.
I'll say the whole line. All right, because
the other best part about this, we were talking about Goldie earlier. This particular segment just went so downhill for Goldilocks. Oh my goodness! It went from being reamed out by her boss for just trying to do her job to getting literally ping-ponged between like 3 different tag teams and her boss. And it's just the look on her face. She's so uncomfortable. She's just, oh my God, trying to hold the mic and not knowing where to put it. And everyone's grabbing the mic from her. It's just,
I'm telling you, she's going to front.
Jiminy Christmas.
Absolutely. No, again, yeah. I want to mention though, the New Church again was another one of those. I guess we'll talk about more during their match, but man, talk about a forgotten team.
Awesome.
We'll get to them in a second. Next match is a 4-way: David Flair versus Jerry Lynn versus Truth versus Mike Sanders. David Flair, man, like this guy just wasn't meant to do this.
Can we not?
Yeah, I guess we can not. I don't know. I just think whatever, he did what he could.
He worked hard.
He tried.
He tried his ass off for 7-8 years.
He did.
I mean, he busted tail. He tried in WCW.
The best run I will say he had though is when they turned him into a psycho with Crowbar and Daphne. Yeah. So, you didn't have to. They hit him in you don't have to wrestle much. Just act like a lunatic. And I thought he did a great job. It was fine. But when you try to make him a serious character, it's a little hard for him. So I liked him as a lunatic. They had a little group name, didn't they, in WCW? Am I missing that? Or am I just imagining that they did? They had a group name, the 3 of them. Somebody in the chat might know this. What was her? It was like Daphne, Crowbar, and David Flair. I thought they had a little name.
I remember the group, but not the name.
Did they not have a name? Maybe I'm just imagining that.
Oh, it was oh god, I love that crew.
I might be imagining the fact that they had a little name for him. I don't know.
That was getting towards like the end of like the last couple of years of WCW, right?
Yeah, anybody in the chat knows good. But this match was pretty standard 4-way elimination style. Jorge runs in, so Jorge gets his revenge on Mike Sanders. He top rope drop kicks Sanders. Sanders gets pinned. He's out. Then Jerry pins Flair. Flair burlap sacks Jerry after a ref bump, and then Truth pins Jerry. But they hinted at is Truth with Russo in Sports Entertainment Extreme.
Shout out to that ref bump. Great ref bump.
Great ref bump, actually. That's a good point.
Great ref.
A hell of a bump.
It looked seamless. Truth was flying.
Rudy Charles taking it.
Man. Good
He's
one.
still reffing, right? He's in the WWE now, Rudy Charles?
I thought he was gone from the WWE, but maybe not. I don't know.
Okay.
He was there, yeah, but I don't know if he still is because they have cleaned house a little over the last.
I gotta ask my buddy referee Nate. He would know. All right, the next one is where Goldie just gets obliterated. I mean, I'm gonna let Buddy. Jay wants to talk about this one. I know that.
Oh, that's a good line.
This is a tough one. Let me set up everything up until there, Jay, and then you can talk about this one. This is the kind of shit that would never happen today. Goldie's in the bag with Elix, Skipper, and Low Key, Triple X, talking about the robbery of the belts. So she's kind of dogging them a little bit. She's serious, like she's like not having their shit, which I like it. She's believable. Like there's times that Goldie locks, I'm like, she's really pissed off. I don't think she's having a good day at work here, and I'm like, maybe she's just a really good actress. Triple X says they're a family. Sports Entertainment Stream is a family. That's how it's going to be. But then Desire comes in. And Jay, do you want to take this, or are you feeling uncomfortable? These are barbs, man.
I'm going to screw up the quote, so I'm just going to pass it off. But I remember part of it.
Don't screw up the quote. This is a money quote.
It's a money quote.
Who has the quote down?
I got it. I got the quote.
Go ahead, Wild Bill. Go ahead.
All right. The quote is Desire to Goldie.
Yep.
Your nipples are supposed to be pointing up rather than down at the ground looking for loose change.
Jesus Christ.
My kids walked through the room during that scene.
I mean, Desire first tells her you have the worst boob job she's ever
seen.
Yeah.
And the camera zooms, too.
The camera zoom? I didn't catch that.
And then Sonny does a little peek over.
He does? I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, he's like...
That's fantastic. I didn't even catch that.
A lot of subtleties.
You should be interviewing me instead of them. And then the worst poop. And then that line. Mark, why don't you repeat that line now, just for context?
I can't because I don't have it memorized.
I'll repeat that.
I'm very bad at remembering quotes.
No problem. Your nipple, he goes, that's the worst boob job ever because your nipple should be pointing up instead of looking down, looking for loose change. What a fucking line.
and then it's even better when they go back to ringside with TNA and he's like, interesting geography lesson.
Geography lesson.
I don't think I caught that.
I forgot. I didn't write that down, but I did catch. What the fuck?
Today.
That was fed because he's straight faced and he's saying it. Interesting geography lesson there by this. What? That's huge. That was wild. That's where I'm surprised today didn't pop himself.
Mark, you didn't have to explain that one, did you?
To the kids when the kids
the pointing one.
Like, paused it real quick.
That's great. Desire versus Trinity, quick match. Nothing too crazy. Desire's pretty rough. Let's just put it that way. Like she's not the smoothest.
The chops.
Woo.
Women's wrestling's come a long way.
There was a lot of moments where they were like, how they, you're about to Irish whip someone, and while you're in the midst of going one way, you quick whisper something,
yes,
and then zing them. Well, those whisper sessions were about 5 seconds too long.
At points, Trinity was like literally like Do you have it? Do you have it? Do you have it? Okay, like yes, okay. Like it was like, what are you doing?
I cringed every time there was a bump. I thought somebody was going to get hurt.
She looks great though. That's all that mattered, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? But my thing is here. I'm attention to detail. My thing right away was why are they wearing the same color tights?
100%.
Did you catch that too? I was like,
black with a shade of blue. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like you're the heel. You're a sports entertainment stream. You should be wearing black anyway. Why? Like, if I'm a producer, like that's the first. I'm like, what the no. What are you fucking changing? Like, no way does the heel and the baby face go out wearing the same color tights. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Put the baby face in hot pink or white or something.
Something else.
Something opposite than black. Yeah, anything. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. I didn't think about that, but yeah, totally right.
Those are little details. Like when I talked to like the guys at AEW and stuff, and like these little like production details. Like we were talking about Modern Impact too. Like a couple weeks ago, Trey was wearing a Johnny Swinger t-shirt in a backstage segment. You know, and like I love the shirt, but it's like there's no reason at all he should be wearing a Johnny Swinger t-shirt. You know, like that doesn't make any. You should be wearing a Rascals t-shirt if you're gonna, because you got to sell a t-shirt. You have no link to Swinger at all. You know,
maybe Swinger is paying him.
Maybe. Daddy. Got sell
we need Swinger in the treehouse. I think that's what that's saying.
Where the shizards.
I'm gonna talk about it next week on next week's main show, but like or on Sunday show probably. But the fact that like Tommy Dreamer came out wearing a PWI shirt, and thank you, Bill, for calling out PWI with that one too.
Yeah.
I was like, the fuck are you doing?
They don't even recognize our belt.
Yeah, I was like, they don't recognize our belt. And then Bill called them out because Bill's like, yeah, great segment. Just be nicer if he had a different shirt on. And then PWI responded to you. They responded to Bill. What did they say to you, Bill? Yeah, they responded to him.
They just put my name ...
Like William.
Like why are you bringing that up? Yeah. Like, come on. Yeah. And honestly, right before we went on, Tommy put it over again.
Did he?
Like he's checkboxed it. He's like great promo, blood, and then he's like PWI shirt.
Yeah.
And I was about to respond to him before we went on and be like, come on, Tommy. 4 out of 5 ain't bad.
I'm guessing it's a PR move, you know?
It is.
You know, we're putting you over. Why don't you fucking take it easy?
It might be. If there's a long-term angle in this, it's great. But don't act like their whole scheme of theirs, where they don't recognize a title, fine. But then their reasoning for recognizing new promotions less than a year old, world titles, doesn't make any sense.
No sense at all.
And that belt's never been defended in another country. I think that belt's only been defended 5 times.
They give a reason for not recognizing, and they totally go against that reason to recognize somebody else. Let's be consistent.
So
a bunch of hypocrites over there.
I haven't cared about PWI since I was 12. Though.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a great magazine when I was 12, 15.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's a freaking rag.
Certain things, yeah. Now it's shit. Well, anyways.
Anyway, it was such a tangent, such a temps, and I'm sorry for that, but I just thought it was funny because like this Bill definitely got the call out on that, which is great.
That's awesome, Bill. Good job, Bill.
No, thank you for fighting that fight. All right, main event, guys. This segment is everything I love about not only wrestling but Southern wrestling. I'm a big Memphis wrestling fan, and I love me a good brawl that just never ends. And
my God, the booking.
I just love a brawl.
Did we time the brawl? It had to be like 12 minutes.
It had to be 20 minutes.
It was 10 minutes plus after the match. I know that much. The match ended and there was less than 15, I believe, but more than 10. It was like 12, 13 minutes. And I was like, wow, what's going to happen now?
Let's just kept on going.
Oh, it was a long brawl.
Oh my God.
But guys, I love Southern wrestling. I love Memphis. I got the whole Memphis DVD collection over there. And so I love shit like this. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the match and we'll get to how it blended in. The new church. I want to talk about this, Mark. Fuck, man. How are these guys so overlooked? Well, Jim Mitchell's still around. How do we never have a flashback of them on the flashback?
Because these guys were ahead of their fucking time. 2 big guys that can move like that. You put them in the ring with Fulton now.
Oh my
have an absolute knockout match. Like that entrance theme when it hit, they had fantastic music, great look, incredible manager, consistent in the ring, big, strong, high. I don't know why what happened. I don't even know what happened to them actually after TNA.
I forget. Like I know. Okay, so Brian Lee, Bulldozer Brian Lee, I think he's obviously doing something else now, but he looked great. I saw a picture of him recently. I just like did a Twitter vanity search for him to see if he came up any because he's not on Twitter. But somebody posted a photo they took of him. They ran into him somewhere, and it was like maybe 3 years ago. The guy looks exactly the same. Like Jack looks great.
Wow.
Slash is formerly Wolfie D from PG-13 back in the day, which was with that tag team. They were that brief little run in WWE as part of the early Nation of Domination. There were the two white rapper dudes who were with them, Memphis guys. So they were PG-13 in Memphis. They had a little run. They had a pretty over locally, but that was him. He shaved head, different look and everything. But I think he retired out. But man, but this run, like New Church, we never get a flashback of the New Church. I'm like, Jim Mitchell's still in the company. You guys can do a flashback of the New Church.
Is he?
Yeah, he didn't travel. Well, Jay knows about it. Jay going. We know why he didn't travel the last like 4 tapings. So
I think it's a combination of things. It's a combination of real life and storyline stuff. I think they wrote him off because of what's going on with his family. His stepdaughter. Stepdaughter has a really, really bad case of cancer. He's shared the GoFundMe link, and it's still on his social media, on his Twitter. So if you want to go look up the Sinister Minister, he's got the link there. If you want to help donate to his family, we've shared it a bunch of times on here because we love James Mitchell. We feel so. I think he's dealing with a heavy dose of real life right now. So if you can help out that family in any way, please consider doing it. But yeah. He's just timeless here with these guys, and to see the crowd switch such a severe 180 from these guys being the biggest heels in the company in the first handful of weeks.
Crazy.
Going against was it Shamrock?
Shamrock initially. They had the AMW feud early too.
It was Malice too.
Yes, the Malice thing too. Exactly.
The members like flip flopped a little bit here and there over the first several months, but now this is like this is the new tight, the disciples of the new church. But man, this crowd just chanting evil, evil, evil. Awesome. And Don West's reaction and today's reaction to, oh my God, are you listening to this? They're all chanting evil. Where are we right now? They're just
crowd full of smart marks.
It's true, but they were really they were cool, man. Like they got to that level of these dudes are cool and they can go. And we've seen them for 31 weeks at this point, just kicking ass. And this match, I mean, obviously no slouch, Triple X, Elix and Low Key, fantastic. Low Key current stance aside, where his whole fiasco online. But however you feel about Low Key, but in the ring, especially in 03, the guy was like youth prime, No more.
Man, that submission, that when he reversed into the submission.
Reverse dragon sleeper.
Was it a dragon sleeper? I don't think it was it.
The one where he's got him in like a camel clutch type thing and he's pulling back?
But he's up in the air completely on his back.
Oh, I'm trying to think of something else though. I'm thinking something different then. Yeah. He's great, but
he was.
So we get a double pin here. Classic double pin, Bill. This is a classic Dusty Rhodes type of finish going on, the double pin. And I'm like, no surprise, Dusty's in the building when this double pin happens. This is a classic Dusty finish, man.
Gotta have the Dusty finish.
Belts are held up. They call it right away. You get the double pin, ref bumps, all that stuff. Belts held up. Then the brawl starts, boys. This is where the next 12 minutes of our lives are just just violence, right? Sports Entertainment Extreme, little by little, starts coming in. AMW comes in. Go ahead.
Before the brawl, during the match, when it was I forget who the ref was. Was it Rudy Charles? Who was it? I forget.
The initial ref was Rudy.
Yeah, the initial ref. There's like 3 refs.
Yeah, because there was 2 at the end. But so the brawl is getting closer and closer to the announce desk, and this is where you can't help nuts, yeah. This is what I was talking about earlier. Tenay and Don West had to get up they were moving further and further because they can only go so far because they're fenced in. They're that little block section there. And they're moving further and further to the point where they are backed up as far as they can go. TNA losing his mind. Would somebody get some help out here?
Yeah.
I'm checking engineers on the ground, which is I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the floor manager.
The
The
floor manager.
Ingrid of back then.
That's right.
The Ingrid of 2003 was down and taken out by these guys brawling, and TNA, red-faced, screaming into his mic, "Would somebody get some help out here?"
Dude,
you don't mess with making Mike TNA stand up.
The guy is
I mean, because they were getting really close and physical, bodies literally flying into their laps to the point where it was like, okay, once is fine, but now the bodies kept going everywhere, and Don West's papers everywhere. It's just
I just love the chaos. Like, it feels real to me. It's like Mike today's selling me like he is fucking losing it for real at this point. I love that, though. I don't feel that today. I feel like Josh Matthews is calling a match. He's not illustrating a match for me. He's calling it fine. Like, fine, you're calling it move for move for move for move. But, man, TNA is making me feel like there is a threat of there's stakes involved in this. You know,
it's that TNA. It's the TNA that's getting them all riled up because that's Josh. He's probably most riled up about the TNA.
It's true.
Prop, and not a title. That's where he's most opinionated these days.
That's
so
true.
It's that TNA still gets everyone all riled up.
But I just want to see more of that. Like, give me good.
Man,
Good.
to be fair to Josh, Josh's commentary is a little flat. To be fair to him, though, you know, TNA was up against arguably the greatest commentator of all time in this period, and I think that's why TNA gets overlooked, right? TNA is fantastic. I don't like the product he currently commentates for. I just can't get into it, so I forget about how good Mike TNA is. Coming back and watching this, yeah, he does. He adds a life and an urgency to this, and he lets you know that the bad guys are bad and this is why, and the good guys are good and this is why, and holy shit, everything's going crazy and popping off. And and Don West is the perfect foil.
Absolutely. Wait, you said TNA's commentating now. Who's he commentating for?
MLW now, right? Or he was.
Oh no, that's
Shivani.
Who's the guy?
Oh, Shivani.
Shivani
Was.
Yeah, unless they have that.
I don't watch the product. Sorry,
lead guy.
Okay.
Yeah. It was Shivani for a while for MLW. No,
Today's
today's
been in Cornette.
Yeah. No, Mark, today's out. Today retired.
Selling air conditioners.
Selling air conditioners.
My mistake.
No, he was working the sports book one of the casinos, right? Did you, Bill? Did you ever see him when he went to Vegas? Because he runs like one of the bigger sports books out there.
I've never seen him. I've never seen him out there. The times I've been there, he doesn't run in my circles in Vegas, I guess.
Okay.
But unless he's hanging out, because they're Impact when they go out there, they're off strip. He's probably
Camstown, right? It's like the block over.
Yeah,
off the strip. Yeah, because I know he runs. He's like the floor manager of one of the bigger sports books. I forgot which casino he's in though, but he runs one of them now. And but he left, Mark. I want to say, God, 2016. Is that right, Bill? Or no?
That
maybe?
Sounds right. Because he was on commentary during the flashback, I believe, the other day, where Eric Young, and that was 14, so he was there then.
14. Then
so maybe.
15, I want to say he's gone 15. I think he's been gone for 5 years.
Yeah.
15 is when he was gone. Because I met you in 16 at Slammiversary, and he wasn't there at the time. He was
gone by then. He was gone by 16, yeah.
Yeah, and they had brought in Don West for that special commentary, right? With
yeah, just him. Not TNA wouldn't come back at that time. I think they reached out to him, but he wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it, right? Actually, no, that might have been 17 then.
Oh, yeah.
That was 17. So he'd have been gone a couple
the following year.
Yes, I don't know. Like he left, Mark. Like he got out, and then he felt kind of. I think he
business completely
left it totally. He won't even do it.
Well, remember they gave him another show at the time.
Yes, that's what it was. They kind of put him on a B show.
They did,
and like Josh Matthews was like the new young kid, and he basically replaced him. And if anybody in the chat remembers the name of that like secondary show that
it was like a legend show. Like
yes,
it was like
it. That was it. The TNA Legends show that was like briefly on after the main show.
And so that was the rift with TNA, and then he just left.
Yeah, because like he was the top guy. He was the guy, the voice of TNA, and then even during the transition, everything, and then like Josh Matthews like comes in, and they had him on together for like maybe a month or two, right, Bill? Like, and then they just like put him on this flashback, like B show kind of thing. Like he was gone. They took him off of main show and put him on this thing, and he was like, what the fuck? Like, I've been the fucking guy, like
he was kind of doing his little sit down, like introducing this and that type stuff. But like, I know that you mentioned it earlier, I talked about it just now, the whole commentator thing, and you do see it in this era, but I think I almost think that's a different era of of commentary. Sometimes color guys can still pull it off, but play-by-play guys, I feel like the position changed industry-wide. I think it's more, they don't want play-by-play guys getting themselves over anymore. So it's all about what they want the product in the ring to be. And they don't, I think that comes from above. They don't want them to over, like, you're right, like the whole making it seem like it's the biggest match ever. Maybe occasionally they'll push that, but they don't want every match to feel that way.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you think that's by design? Because back in the day, everybody was a character, right? The refs were characters, commentators were characters. Everybody was involved in the show. And now,
because you have promotions where some refs are kind of like, you have where like years ago there was a promotion that you can't even name refs, like don't even call them, they're just unofficial. Yeah. Now you have refs with t-shirts. So it's they're different promotions are looking at it a different way, and I think that goes for announcers, it goes for everybody, really.
It's interesting, man. But during the brawl, just to wrap up the brawl real quick, like he just gave that threat level feeling to the brawl, and I was like, man, Bullet comes out, he's getting shots in there, which I love. He's
great. People. I think that's BG. I think it's BG under that mask.
Call was so good. I just opted for that call.
I loved it. I just loved it because, the guy, all the sports entertainment stream guys are still in their fatigues and masks. Little by little, they're systematically putting all the TNA guys into their locker room, locking them in. And W goes in, but I pop him. Bullet comes out, and he's like, I'm sick and tired of this shit. And he's like beating up his own son. This is where it's great though. So they're in the ring, they get everybody locked up, and Russo's in the ring. He's addressing you see the bell bottom tights. It's disco. That's he's got the bell bottom tights, which is always my
gift.
It's the gift. I always loved that little detail about him because I remember my sister as a kid used to pop for the fact that he's a 70s throwback character and he's got bell bottom tights, and she used to love it. And he's still rocking them. He's in there. Russo's saying, we did it. Where it's we got him. He's like, all right. He's like, all right, Glenn, take that mask off. Tell these people what we're gonna do. Get out. Let's go finish the job. Basically, he's like, come on, Glenn, take off the mask already. He's not taking it. It's like, and then you look over the ramp. Disco is running out with the classic sitcom-y, in his underwear, no, it's not me. And then Russo's does the whole the slow turn, turns over, and Jarrett takes the match off, and it's Jarrett brawls, goes to black. It's like the perfect television show finish. It's go ahead, Jay.
I was this close to making Glen Gilberti in his underwear the thumbnail for this video. You have to give me a little bit of credit. I was this close. I saw that ending, and I'm like, it's perfect. Him in his underwear going.
It just reminded me of an ending you'd see on an 80s sitcom, and I loved it. It's something like, wait a minute, if you're there, who's there? Oh, one of those things. But just such a great.
The three companies, come and knock on my door. There's Jack Tripper in his underwear.
Yeah, exactly. Just all misunderstandings everywhere.
And what was his roommate's name again? Sorry, I'm old.
Janet, Chrissy, Terry. Come on, you're talking about sitcom.
Janet, I think you're correct. But there was
where's Mr. Furley?
Oh yeah, Mr. Furley.
Roper. Larry.
Larry.
Larry would be like, hey, you're in your underwear. Oh, sorry, Jack.
But no, it was fun. I enjoyed the show because it was just it kept me engaged the whole time. I was in. I was locked in on this show the whole time.
They're rolling right now. They're rolling.
Yeah. It's great, man. It's and I highly recommend if you guys haven't seen these, anybody watching and listening on audio, watching along the chat, if you guys haven't seen the early TNA, like watch what the foundation of the company was. There, everybody you can think of set foot in this ring. I'm in this company's ring. I'm telling you, like they were doing stuff in 02, 03 that's like considered like you couldn't believe that we've like not we don't even do it now. Like we've gone so far back that we don't even do it now. Like it's like this is crazy shit for the time. Even it's crazy to see it now.
On this show, we saw Larry Zbyszko, Dusty Rhodes, AJ Styles, and Amazing Red.
Think about that. Think about it. Right there.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Such an unbelievable, unmatchable classic.
And
that's why I even bring it. I tell Trent all the time. I'm like, I look at it as you have to pardon the reference. You know, we look at where AJ is now and what he's all accomplished, and now we're watching these. And how he's, you know, transformed himself, but not really transformed himself because he's still cutting the same smart alecky promos today. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And I watched the stuff that he did a few weeks ago and he's all, you know, smart ass in the ring and I'm all this and I'm all that. And I'm like, oh my God, it's almost 20 years later. And there it is. That's the inception of what he's doing now. It's just, I love it.
Yeah, the promo's a lot more green back then, but
it is. But man, you got to give him credit for being so cocky. I mean, for back then, you can compare it to like the MJF of today. Not quite as good promo wise, but the cockiness is there.
But in the ring, AJ's work in the ring.
Unimaginable.
From the very beginning.
I personally think in my lifetime here, I know a lot of people of my generation. I'm 38. A lot of people of my generation are like, "Oh, Shawn Michaels, best in-ring performer." Blah, blah.
AJ's up
not
there.
even. I say AJ Styles to me, and this is not my TNA bias. I think personally, AJ Styles is one of the best performers in my lifetime because this guy did it in every company. He's done it everywhere he goes.
Exactly.
I look at Shawn Michaels. I'm like, you did it in one company. That's great. Yeah, you had a cup of coffee in AW. I'm not even going to count that. You've been in WWE. You've been one style their whole career. I look at AJ Styles. I'm like, this kid did it. He touched WCW, the cup of coffee in WCW, but TNA, he was the guy. He built it in TNA. New Japan, Ring of Honor, WWE. Like this guy is like the most. And what I'm getting at with this is you're seeing the inception of all that. What you eventually come to know, it's like one of the greatest of all time. This is the start to main event level AJ Styles.
Well,
on this episode, you know.
Also, you know, you've got Ron Killings out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually enjoy what I don't watch the other program now, but I enjoy what he's done the last couple years of his career to stretch out.
It's been good.
It has been great. It's good comedy stuff. But if you haven't seen The Truth as a wrestler and as a champion, definitely worth going back and watching because the guy was fantastic. You know, my son was like, oh, every time he would do a kick or a bicycle kick or that ref bump, my son was like, oh, I mean, he was an exciting athlete.
He still moves like he's
mind-boggling.
This age that we're watching now.
He does now?
Insane.
Apparently he still goes like this now.
He'll go out in the ring and he does his rap and stuff and he gets in the ring and then drops down, does a split, pops the crowd, gets up, does some more dancing and stuff. The guy's just unbelievably charismatic and in shape. It's for what is he, like 50
He's
now?
50. He's 50 years old now.
50 years old.
Whoa.
Like 28-time, 24/7 European TLs, whatever. He does the whole shtick. It's hilarious. He changes
His clips
it.
are hilarious. He's too funny. His comedy stuff is great.
I love him. And I was really down on the stuff, but now I've come to appreciate him even more watching this stuff. You know?
That's great. No, he's a phenomenal talent, man. And I love that he still talks highly of TNA. He was like keeping it 100. Yeah, he was like keeping it 100 like a month ago, and him and Cole and I were just like chopping it up about TNA days, and he speaks very fondly of it. You know, like he's still, because it is the company that really like took the major chance on him.
It made him a star.
Made him a star. Like they gave him the ball, man, and he still talks fondly of it. After he's not one of those bitter, regretful people about it. He likes it. He had a good time. It was time to go, and that was it. That's just a natural progression. You know, I mean, you're getting older. Go get the big easy money, and you know, less bumps. That's what it is.
You don't forget where you came from. You don't forget your roots, and that's what so many people do nowadays. They forget where they've come from. They say, "Oh, they made it up here now. Yeah, I don't got to think about this." No, sometimes you need to like go back and it's stuff like that keeps you humble, and that's something I preach to my kids all the time. I'd be like, "Look, straight A student, I'm incredibly proud of you. You know you're smart. God bless you. That's wonderful. Just don't forget where it came from."
Absolutely.
And be thankful for it every single day,
Yeah, we're seeing that legacy kind of come back too, as we're seeing, the generation of kids like Kiera Hogan, right, and Chris Bay that grew up watching this product now that are wrestling in the product. Oh, it's so heartwarming to see that stuff. But kind of the brand that's been established here is what we're seeing now, right? We're seeing people willing to come back to this company because they know that this company is steady and that they've done it and that they've been here for 20 years. And we're exploring those roots now. And for me, thanks guys, for giving me a reason to go back and like really watch one of the old shows. It was the timing was perfect. Like that this was one of the first I ever saw. I had a blast rewatching it. I'm probably just going to keep up with you guys from now on.
That'd be great, man.
Hey, we appreciate it. And I told Trent when we were brainstorming stuff like fall, winter, early winter time, late last year about more stuff to put on, when we were still on the lounge. And I was like, hey, maybe we should do this. And we kept talking about it. We didn't do it. And finally we were like, you know what, let's just do it. And I was a little leery at first because I didn't know, because I mean, I've seen the classic first episode. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. You can watch it. And so I was a little leery, but I know the star power that was involved in it. And I was always very curious to see how it evolved, who was champ, what the rivalries were. And man, it as much wrestling as I've digested in the last 40 years, I'm having a blast doing this. I wouldn't have kept it up after 10 episodes if I wasn't having fun. I love this.
Here we are at 31.
Plus how do you not love Trent? I love it.
Thanks.
Well, between Trent and Bill, we've got the institutional history too.
There you
all the noise and the background stuff.
There you go, man. Well, hey, listen, I want to thank you both for being on and hanging out with us as we flashbacks. And for anybody in the chat, honestly, like if you guys aren't watching along, these are fun shows to watch along, and you get 30 days for free if you're not even sub to Impact Plus. It's $8 a month. It's nothing. It's 2 Starbucks coffees.
It's worth it for Explosion alone.
It's worth for Explosion alone. Exactly. What's $8? You get 30 days for free. Like watches with us, hang out. You get to see apparently they're adding a ton of new shit. Did I miss that? I thought there was a bunch of new shit added. Did you get this, Bill? You have the memo on this?
There was. Well, I know they kind of made navigation easier. Like they put all the Slammiversaries together.
They put all the main
just where you kind of.
They kind of everything at the top. I saw that.
Yeah.
So
but I know there's rumors that there's a lot of new content also coming down the pike, maybe post Slammiversary.
There we go. Yeah, I'm hearing like there's
hopefully an update on the interface too.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the UI. Like, can we please get a continue watching section?
Oh my god, yes.
Can we please get that, guys?
Oh my god, yes.
Can we all in the chat here? Can we all just tweet Impact Plus on Twitter and just like please just add a continue watching section and please let it work? Because sometimes that resume is bullshit. That resume does not work.
Well, since Kyle's not here, I'll call on the tribe to go tweet Impact and say, let's get this done.
I do get the occasional error, but I keep watching because I do enjoy watching this. I do want to not to change the tune to a negative thing, but I saw some stuff in the chat. I just wanted to quick look it up. Yes, sadly, between this episode on February 5th and the next one on February 12th, on the 10th, Kurt Hennig passed away. So I figured I'd briefly mention it here. We could talk about it more on the next one because I'm sure there's a tribute or something, I'm guessing.
There is. I remember it. It's actually tattooed in my brain. I do remember what they do. I won't ruin it. We'll talk about it. But it does happen, and they do address it. It does get addressed on the show. Specifically AMW, who you come to find out is very close to him. Apparently he started mentoring at this point, which I didn't even know about. So no, definitely that's a tough one next week. because you're still continuing a heavy storyline, but like that looming, like we're not going to ignore the fact that he was just here and he died.
His literal last run just days before, or weeks, but
yeah. So that's a tough one, but definitely I'll be 32 next week. But yeah, no, going back to Impact Plus, they have done some cleanup. I will say they have. I do like the bundling at the top, easy to get to all the different shows. But yeah, we need to continue watching. Please.
Yes.
Like, I want that, please.
If we could only have one thing, that would probably be top on the list.
Same. And then, I saw somebody at Wrestling Fans. I'm saying, can we add the old explosions from 02? Guys, the gems that are on these fucking explosions from 02 are crazy. Like Kevin Martin, I know you're in the chat. You need to take that to the office. I know you know what the VHS tapes are for those. I need you to do that for us because there are some gems in 02, 03, 04. Like Explosion was literally you would watch it and be like, who that fucking guy was here? Like what? Like it's literally it's just a smorgasbord of he came here too. He was an Impact. What the fuck? Like it just blows your mind.
Wait, Explosion goes back this far,
dude. Explosion. It was like nearly at the beginning.
It's the oldest show, isn't it?
It was basically. If you think about it, it's the actual.
Because you have the pay-per-view Explosion, then Impact.
Yeah,
because it was technically Explosion was actually the first syndicated show they did. The pay-per-view was one thing, but Explosion was actually the first syndicated show they ever put out, and that actually used to go out. And that's
I know. Like years ago, it wasn't even around the U.S. It was stuff
it wasn't
that
in
they
the
were
US at
shipping
all.
out internationally, right, or something.
It was all international, and Mr. Fritz. It was Jim Lionheart was on.
Oh, there you go.
I can't even tell the names that were on it. It was crazy. But
AJ and Samoa Joe had a match on Explosion at one point. I mean,
yes, which is like a total banger. Like there's crazy.
Yeah, that's like main event pay-per-view level shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Explosion is like hidden gem central. So
It's been a bangorama.
Yes. What are you, Kyle now? It's a throwback show. Kalon. But yeah, so hopefully we get that. But yeah, man. But yeah, Mark, tell people, I'd like people to connect to you. You're great on Twitter. You're extremely active. So where can people find you?
I don't even know my @ because I had to change it. I think it's @2 Taya World Order, I think. But if not, you'll see me posting all the time or tweeting all the time.
I thought it was Taya WO2, I think. Wasn't it? Wasn't that what I said it to Jay earlier?
Man, I don't even know.
Look at Taya's World Order.
I'm not here for the clout. I'm just here for the impact.
But you're a great follow. That's why I want people to connect with you for sure.
Thank you.
But Bill, you're the man. We're giving the voice to the face to the name and a name to everything to the guy that they assumed worked for the company for so long. People are starting to see like, no, he's a
Wait,
super
you don't?
fan. Exactly.
I guess I'm still waiting for that first check.
Where can they follow you, Bill?
All right. You can follow me on Twitter. That's probably where I'm most active. Instagram's the same thing. It's my name, William, another M, Gardner, Gardner.
Nice. Jay, you want to plug up your stuff, your other shows, all that stuff?
You can find me over on that other little podcast, which I've been a little extra sassy on lately. I apologize. Smash This Podcast, where we're smashing all things wrestling. Smash This Podcast is also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can find me on the Twitter box at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150.
Very nice, Jay. Very nice. Guys, you can connect with the show. The links are down there at We Talk Impact. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or just type in Total Nonstop Impact and Google. It all comes up. The show is available on all audio format. There it is.
Thanks,
WO. Thank you, Kill.
That's it.
There it is. But yeah, give Mark a follow, guys. He's a great. If you like Impact Talk, he's great. He's a great crusader for the product. It's awesome.
We all have to be ambassadors.
We do. We absolutely do. But yeah, guys, We Talk Impact. Our audio listeners, you can get the show on the go. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Geo7 in India, YouTube, of course, available on this channel. And now the main show, syndicated. We're in syndication, guys. Looks like the plan's going to be 2 days later at the Russo. Where is it? There it is. The Russo brand. We're part of Vince Russo's The Brand. So the debut dropped today. So today's Thursday, obviously 2 days removed from the live show. That's going to be
Very proud day. I'm just saying it's a very proud day. Thank you very much for anyone and everyone who tuned in to give us a chance and check us out. Thank you.
It was the response has been good today, which so far so good. We're off to a good start. So no, it's been great. So it looks like that's a good process. We're going to be live here every Tuesday with the main show. Flagship show goes live every Tuesday, 30 minutes after Impact. And then 2 days later, the brand gets it, and you get all the brand folks. And guys, if you're coming in here from the brand, we're doing throwbacks here. Every Throwback Thursday is the throwback show. Sunday night, Impact Plus Weekly, and the open forum. We discuss anything you want to discuss, basically, after we cover Explosion and stuff, talk about whatever. And it's been really good.
Tweet about Explosion.
Yes, there you go. And Mark loves Impact Plus Weekly. I know you encouraged me about that, and I'm like, that's awesome. He loves the open format. I'm glad, man. I'm so glad. We'll get you on that one of these days too, and just spark open talk, man.
Anytime.
But guys, don't forget prowrestlingtees.com/total nonstop impact. Show those shirts off, gentlemen. Look at there's 2 of the 3 designs right there. We got the main, the flaming mic, and the throwback logo. Look at that. Thank you, boys, for picking that up. We appreciate that. But guys, you can get your own. You get a shirt. You can join us on Throwback or Impact Plus Weekly. You're more than welcome to come on, pick one of your shows. Come on, hang out with us, and then and connect. Me personally, if you guys want to connect with me, guys, best for me, HemiMusic.com. Independent artists are supporting each other nowadays. People supporting the independents. Forget my personal Twitter. Follow Hemi Music at Hemi Music on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Take up a T-shirt at HemiMusic.com. Best way to support independent artists during a lockdown. It really helps. Hey, and look, we have an Impact Wrestling tie-in. I've done 2 songs for Impact. You know, so I'm not coming out of the woodwork here. A little part of the Impact family a little bit. So you be supporting Impact in a roundabout way is what I'm trying to say. So, all right. I think that wraps it up. Jay, anything else?
Nope, that's it. Let's take her home, brother.
All right, everybody. Have a great 4th of July holiday. You two hang out for a few. We'll cut the show and we'll talk to you guys in a second. Have a great holiday, everybody. Stay safe. Wear your masks. You know, please. Let's let this thing get crazy over the weekend. I hate wearing them. I'm not a big fan of the mask, but I know I have to. That's the idea, right? I have to wear it. That's the bottom line.
Here's my wish. Wear a mask so I can eventually leave my house.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect example. If you love J-Bone, people like J-Bone can't leave because of this. So wear a mask. Help out our brother J-Bone here, please. But yeah, wear your mask. Please be safe. Wash your hands. I always wash my hands anyway. I'm obsessive. Guys, I wash my hands before all this shit. I wash my hands 12 times a day anyway, just because I like clean hands. But so now it's I already been doing this. That's the funny thing. But wash your hands, guys. Be safe. Don't blow off your hands with fireworks, please. Take it easy. And we'll see you guys here Sunday night for the Impact Plus Weekly. All right. So thanks again. Episode 32 next week. We'll talk to you then. J-Bone, hit the video. Let's get out of here. Good night, everybody.
Find me the name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's John, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals. And you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah.